Exercise number 130 is one of the exercises that we're going to play in the concert, and so we want to make especially sure that we play it very, very well and that we understand everything that's going on. Sakura, you might also hear it pronounced as Sakura. This is a Japanese folk song, which means it's a folk song from Japan. If we're thinking about some of our own folk songs that we might have grown up with, maybe you know the song, let's say Itsy Bitsy Spider, you know Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Baa Black Sheep, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Those are some examples of American folk songs, something that you just kind of grow up knowing and something that your parents or your family or your friends might be singing to you. This is an example of a Japanese folk song. The word Sakura, it's about springtime, so this is the perfect time to learn this one. And it's also referring to cherry blossoms. If you've never seen a cherry blossom tree before, there are these gorgeous trees that always come into bloom at the beginning of spring, sometimes March or April. And they have beautiful big pink or white flowers on them. They have a strong smell as well, and a lot of people think that they're very gorgeous. And so you're going to hear a lot of songs coming from the Japanese culture about these types of trees. Now, looking at this piece of music, you can also look up some recordings online if you're more interested in what Japanese folk music looks like. It might sound a little bit different than what you expect because it's not American, it's not Mexican, it's not something that we've grown up with. Looking from the beginning to the end, so I'm looking at the rhythms first. I don't see any rhythms that might trip us up. Just make sure that you're counting everything, especially measure 4. We've got 1, 2, and then a long bow, 3, 4. So now let's start looking deeper into the piece of music. We've got nothing in the key signature to start. So I'm looking here, there's nothing in the key signature there. That clues me in, we're in the key of C. So all of our Fs are going to be a low 2, and all of our Cs are going to be a low 2 as well. If you need to go through and mark them, you can circle them. You can write low 2. You can write a downwards arrow with a 2. I think it's a really good idea to mark it just in case, you get to the concert, you're really nervous, the lights are shining in your face, and you forget. They'll be there to remind you, oh, that's right, I have to use a low 2 on some of these fingerings. At the very beginning, you have a tempo mark as well, andante. Andante means a little bit slower. You have some dynamic markings as well. We start with piano, or the P. That means we're going to place our bow in the piano lane, which is very close to the fingerboard. Continue piano, 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 until we get to this measure right here. We have mezzo forte here, so there we're going to shift our bow a little bit back to the mezzo forte bowing lane, which is the one that we're most used to. That's right in the middle. You keep going, and we return to piano a few measures later, so you're mostly quiet as you're playing this piece, and you're only mezzo forte for those 2 measures. Make sure that you're practicing this just little bits at a time. Practice the piano parts first, and then practice the mezzo forte parts. Go back and mark your music if you haven't done it yet. You really need to do that. And finally, once you've practiced it pizzicato, you've practiced it slowly, you've practiced it andante, and you have a good idea of how it should sound, then you can try playing it with me. I'm going to place my bow in the piano bowing lane. 1, 2, ready, go. Here's a low 2. Mezzo forte, move the bow back a little bit. Piano. I think this is an especially beautiful piece of music. I really enjoy this one. It's one of my favorites. Like I said, it might sound a little strange at first just because we're not used to this type of music, but as you play it, and if you want to, you can also look up some Japanese folk songs, get an idea of what Japanese music sounds like. I think you're really going to start to enjoy it too.